Okay, no faffing around, let's jump straight into things. You're here because you're thinking about buying a prompter. Let's talk about everything that it can do and whether or not I think that it's worth the money for you. Now, full transparency, Elgato sent me the prompter to help with my brand new Stream Deck series, and I wasn't too sure if I was going to be using it on a day-to-day basis. I don't think there's been a day I haven't used it since the day it arrived on my desk. The Elgato Prompter has all of the essential functions you would expect from a prompter, but then they've taken the traditional formula and made it into something truly special for content creators and live streamers. Inside the software, you have the ability to write your scripts, separate them by lines, customize the font size, margins, opacity, and even add a few overlays if that's something you want to do. Then as you're reading your script, you can either let the prompter do all of the scrolling for you, or you can enable Elgato's voice sync mode and it will follow every word you say, adjusting for any mistakes you make along the way. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you, it's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise he could use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life. As somebody who's grown up with a speech impediment and often finds himself battling to get everything down in one take, this is an amazing feature. If you decide not to use the voice syncing feature, you can use the software to just flick between one paragraph to another, or even use the Stream Deck to adjust your position on the prompter, along with a bunch of other cool features that we'll talk about in next week's episode of Stream Deck Secrets. You should probably subscribe for that one, or not. I'm not your father. Probably should though. Speaking as somebody who used to read my scripts from a Word document or a notepad, I can honestly say that the prompter makes the whole process of reading and writing and creating just so much easier. I also struggle a lot with improvising. Maybe it's the ADHD in my brain, but when I just free fire things, it doesn't come naturally to me. So having a script in front of me that I can follow along, just follow along and I can... See, I'm trying to ad-lib this bit because it wasn't in my script and now I'm just messing up constantly. Having a script in front of me just makes that so much easier. I can just read what's in front of me. I do notice that my hands move a lot more though when I'm using the prompter. It just looks a little bit weird. Maybe there's a habit I need to get out of. By the way, the setup is pretty simple too. You get everything out of the box, put the prompter together, and if you're using a DSLR, you'll want to find your lens size and throw on one of these rings. If you're using a webcam, you'll want to either use the shroud or the mounts that are made specifically for the face cam, if that's the webcam you're using. You just put it all together and you're good to go. It's really straightforward. The prompter naturally rests on the lens ring itself. I was a little bit uncertain about this. I haven't had any issues with it so far. You can mount the prompter to a tripod though, if that's something you're worried about, and then just plug the prompter in through USB-C. The other end goes straight into the PC and you're good to go. There's no external power needed. It's all in one place, which is great. Then we get into the good stuff that Elgato included. Now, not only does the prompter act as a prompter, you can literally do anything you would normally do on your primary monitor, but on the prompter. When I'm recording, I have a really cool set of overlays made by Nutty. I'll link his review of the prompter down below, along with some of the cool stuff that he's made for it. I'll probably make my own at some point, but when you're getting started with the prompter, before you start figuring out how to create your own stuff, having those assets there to just throw on and you can monitor all of your recordings and your live streams, it makes life a lot easier. Psst. Hey, it's me. No, not at the desk, up here. Get off your butt, you lazy. If you guys are looking for better music and you don't want stuff like this, like, Epidemic sound. If I get a bunch of people over there, they might want to work with me. Just next part, go. I'm stuck on a prompter, you have to switch. Elgato have a built-in live chat function for Twitch streamers, but I personally multi-stream on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Facebook, so rather than using Elgato's chat function, I just grab Restream's chat, which is the platform I use to multi-stream, and then I throw it onto the prompter, and I can see every single chat from every single platform all in one place. There's probably a way of implementing it all together, but that's a project for another day. When I'm not recording, I like to use it as a dedicated monitor for music, YouTube, YouTube and Wavelink software because that's something I'm constantly adjusting. Naturally, though, you can get creative with it. You can play some games, rickroll yourself if that's something you want to do. Watch a movie on the prompter. Go crazy, have fun. On a personal note, something I wanted to touch on for those looking to use the prompter, but perhaps you've never had a chance to try one, or you're worried it just won't be helpful. I thought the same thing at first. I am still in the learning period where I'm reading and performing and trying to get comfortable with it, as you can see from the constant hand movements and the stuttering earlier on. But the alternative for me would have been to read to camera, mess up, go over here, look at my document, try and memorize a line or two, go back to the camera, and just keep going through that process again and again until I got a good take, one that was good enough to put into a video. And if you struggle with improvising and you want something to help you feel a little bit more focused, a tool that genuinely helps you with your video production, I can't recommend this enough. Just keep practicing with it, even if it's a little bit strange at first. You don't even have to turn the script into a video. Just sit there for 10 minutes a day and figure out how you can make the prompter work for you. So that's pretty much all the features you can expect from the prompter, but Elgato's always adding extra bits here and there. So if anything cool gets released in the future, I'll cover it here. The only thing left to talk about is the price, and it's an expensive bit of kit. Here are the prices, and there are affiliate links down in the description. But as with all of my videos, I am not going to suggest that you go and buy one. I'm not going to tell you to do that because that depends on how well and how often you think you would use it. The question though is, could you use another monitor? For your software or for organization, do you feel like you would be more confident on camera having a script in front of you? Do you want a way of engaging with your chat while live streaming or monitoring your recordings? If the answer to any of those is yes, then sure, I think it's absolutely worth the money, but ultimately I think that's up to you to decide whether or not it's worth that investment. That's all for now. If you have any questions about the prompter, leave them in the comment section down below. I try to answer every single comment I get on this channel. Next week, I'll have a whole video about integrating the prompter with the Elgato Stream Deck, and then maybe going forward, we could make a bunch of overlays, widgets, and stuff like that. Once again, thanks to Elgato for sending this one out. Great job. As always, I love your faces, you're amazingly beautiful, and I'll catch you in the next one.